Welcome to Stuart Miller's podcast. Today I've got a wonderful, delightful young man who previously was involved in, unfortunately, the wrong side of the law. He's turned his life around, and without further ado, I'm going to introduce him as Mr. X. Right, Mr. X. I'm going to ask you some questions. Clearly it's going to be embarrassing, and I understand that part of your life is now over. But I really need to get an insight in relation to your journey in terms of getting arrested, stopped by the police, handcuffed, taken to the police station, how it all felt, and thereafter being arrested multiple times. So let's move on with this. Right, so how old were you when you first got arrested?
I think about 16.
Oh my God, that was very young, man. And why were you arrested?
The first ever time it was robbery and drugs.
It's all very minor offence, wasn't it?
Not at them times, when you're young. No,
I mean, since then, and thankfully a long time ago as well, so you had robbery and drugs. Thereafter, there was violent offences. Then there was firearms offences, and then there was explosive offences, and then there was more violent offences. But thankfully, that part of your life's now over.
Yeah.
But coming back to it, I mean, when you get arrested, it's the same situation, isn't it? The police come. How do you feel that first time?
That first time, I just wanted to get away. I hated it. But when they had me in handcuffs, I thought that was it. Like all the comments that the teachers used to make, like gonna get arrested and that. And I used to hear police brutality and the shame, you know, like cameras and that.
Yeah, people recording you in public later on and putting you on social media as well. I mean, how did you feel? I mean, once you're taken to the police station and clearly you're placed in that little cell, that toilet in the corner. I mean, it stinks, it's horrible. How did you feel? What did you want to do?
Wanted to get out, innit? Well, just in my thoughts at that time.
And I get it. I mean, when you're first arrested, you think you're going to get out. But as, unfortunately, your career in crime progressed, a point came after interview. Did you get out?
Nah.
What happened?
Got remanded.
How did that feel? I mean, thinking that at one stage you're going to be released and thereafter you're remanded. How did that feel?
Crazy. I thought it was going to be like what you hear on the news and outside in films. Like, I remember in that circle van, like about to get out.
And how does it feel in that circle van? I mean, a lot of people are not going to know this. A lot of people don't get in trouble, but it's that little cubicle. Explain what that little cubicle is.
You know what the craziest thing is? The first time I got into like the van, then we got into prison, I saw somebody come out of prison with a bruised face, like
oh my God,
mullered, my first time, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And these, bear in mind,
you must have put your hard face on straight away. I mean, one cap went off, put your...
It was always hard face, man, because you know what environment you're going to go into.
Oh my God.
I hated it, and then, like, you can't move in a circle van, like, you're just stuck.
So in that circle van, you're stuck, and then you're handcuffed into court. You're kind of shepherded into court, move like animals. And then clearly I was there in court. I took your instructions downstairs in the cells. And on that first occasion, we got bail. It's thereafter that you don't get bail and then you're remanded. But how did it feel? I mean, that first time you're in court and the prosecutor's saying what he's saying. He did this and he did that and you did this and don't give him bail. And then, you know, I have an opportunity to speak in. How does it feel when that judge went out to kind of consider whether or not he should give you bail and your life's in the hand of the judge, your liberty?
My heart was beating just looking at the judge like, please, just let me out. Just give me bail. Just give me bail and I won't do it again.
And that's because of the experiences at the police station and coming to court, let alone going to prison, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of surreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Definitely surreal.
And then as unfortunately, and we'll come to it as well, unfortunately you got into trouble again, okay? And then a stage came when you never got bail.
Yeah.
How did your experience of prison feel? I mean, how did it feel? You've gone to prison. You've already explained the first time you go to prison. You're in what they describe as the meat wagon, yeah? And you see somebody coming out of prison with a massive black eye.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm done. I'm actually done. Like, yeah.
It's like, you don't know what's waiting for you, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it single cell? It was just weird. I don't know how to explain it. It was just weird. It's just a whole different feeling. It was like...
And then you've got an added problem, isn't it? I mean, you'd think you're going to prison. Okay, I'm doing my thing. But then there's all this nonsense with postcode wars. Are you from this area? Are you from that area?
I forgot about that. Yeah. There was always hood beef as well.
There's hood beef. So what does that mean?
Hood beef, just everyone's got problems with each other and that.
I mean, I shouldn't say this, but I might as well. I mean, you never gang affiliated.
Yeah,
you were more of a lone wolf, self-employed.
Yeah. I was just by myself, but obviously I was from an area that's gang related. So like, you can't always get away with stuff, but I knew a couple people, but at the same time, you just never know what's out there to get you.
Because you got to watch your back, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, again, as they say, you may have just nodded to the wrong person in your block, and the next thing you know, somebody thinks he's your best friend, and then that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So when in custody then, I mean, you're confined, I mean, you're at the police station for 24 hours, but then now you're in prison, and it's a smaller cell.
Yeah.
And it's 22, 23 hour bang, how many hour bang up is it, and what does that mean?
23-hour bang up.
So what does that mean? What does bang up mean?
Literally, you only come out for food and exercise, and that's it. Then you're back in yourself for the rest of the day.
Do you have a TV? Can you make your own food?
TV, couldn't make my own food. Obviously, I didn't know the grips of everything, so it was just literally what they gave us. And
did you ever lose your privileges?
Yeah.
Why did you lose your privileges?
Obviously, just bad behaviour, IEPs that they call it.
What does that mean?
What does it mean again? If I'm correct, it means... Well, it's just about if you, like, talk back to them, like, you do wrong, they just give you, like, 3 negative IEPs.
Okay, so it's 3 negatives, which then results in...
2, possibly.
All right, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
And then that you lose your privilege, and the privilege is having
basic,
a TV.
Yeah, basic.
Yeah.
Loss of spends. Sometimes it's bad enough if you go to the block. It depends.
Oh my God.
So fighting, you can get that. Just chatting.
So you've got 23-hour bang up, as they say.
Yeah.
And then if you lose your privileges is one thing, but if you go to segregation, well, what's segregation about then? How do you deal with that?
And the worst thing about segregation is just like when you're on block, there's like cockroaches everywhere. Like literally, they're like running. But it's just like, yeah, your life's done. It's
I'm laughing, but I'm dreading it. The point is, so you've got your cell, and you've got your little kind of bed, you've got your little TV, your little kettle, your little toilet, and you've got your window to look out of.
I'm thinking, I can't believe it.
And in segregation, then what? Do you have a window? Is it locked? Is it artificial light and air?
It's artificial. Like you can't see nothing. It's like blocked. But there's like fence to have a bit of air, and that's it.
So do you come out for association, or you're not allowed for association?
Nah, no association in block. Just like outside, but if you're lucky to get that once or twice a week.
How long were you on block for then?
My most, about 3 weeks, but in a duration about 6 months, in and out.
But why? I mean, surely first time you go to a block, you think to yourself, not at all, never again.
Fighting, talking back, disrespecting the officers, all of that. Stealing sometimes.
But didn't you learn the first time? Like?
I was just young and wild. It was like a game, but like it never ended.
So going back to court then, I mean, clearly you come to court, and a lot of people are not going to know this, but you will, coming through the ages of time that's passed, coming to court. Is court, literally walking to court, is that a safe environment?
No.
Why not?
Obviously people from other areas, so like you never know what to expect. You can meet somebody you know, you can meet somebody you don't like.
I mean, there's been times when we've been in court and people have actually kicked off gang attacks actually in court.
Yeah.
It's quite dangerous, isn't it? I mean, you got to look out for yourself. Your solicitor's running in the opposite direction. The judge usually legs it out of court, you know, and you're left on your own.
Seen it all.
And that's London courts for you.
Yeah.
And if you remember, sometimes when we used to go to court, there used to be a TSG, Territorial Support Group police van parked outside court. It was as if they were the United Nations peacekeeping envoy. Like, they were there just to maintain law and order, and that's it.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you know what I mean? So coming to court in itself was never a safe environment as well,
No.
let alone going to prison.
Nah, definitely.
Okay. Moving on then. So, your life of crime. What have you actually been arrested for over the years?
I've been arrested for robbery, drugs, firearms, explosives, Section 18, GBH.
I mean, all top ranking offences.
Yeah, drugs, all of that.
Some you pleaded guilty to, others you were found not guilty, and you moved on in your life.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's a common offence, and it's unfortunate. But dealing in drugs, why would you want to deal in drugs?
Project of my environment, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Say, like, where I was raised, I was always taught, like, drugs was the way out, like, films and everything. And that's all I knew, because I started from stealing. So, like, drugs was the next step, and after that, I started seeing money.
So, clearly you're saying you did it for the money, yeah?
Yeah.
And people around you were doing it?
Yeah.
It's on TV, such as programs such as Top Boy glamorising it, yeah? people being part of a group, yeah?
Mm.
How do you feel about it now?
Wouldn't touch it.
Why?
Doesn't make sense.
Why?
Because it's not worth it, innit? Like, what you get for drugs, you can do it making a business. Like,
But you also said to me as well, you're harming people by selling drugs. I mean, the actual product in itself does harm people, doesn't it?
yeah,
And that's not something you want to do.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Then at the same time, as you said, I can make the same money doing business.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm making the same money.
And when you think about it now, I mean, you've moved on from drugs and you're not interested. But at that specific time, were you not scared walking the streets, like, you know, trying to shift a £5, £10 bag?
Nah, those times I just wanted to make money.
Yeah, what about being robbed by other
There was
dealers?
there was dangers in it. Like, that comes with the game, but I was naive when I was a little bit younger, thinking everything was rosy until I learned, like...
Were you ever attacked?
Yeah.
Did you ever have your line taken off you?
No. But
Would you defend yourself? If somebody came to you and said, look, they're going to take your phone and you...
yeah, definitely. I had to defend myself. I got it 1 or 2 times, but I never ever got my phone taken. Thank the Lord. At them times, there, but it was still like a dangerous place. So I had to mind where I would go.
Were you ever attacked by your customers, those you're selling drugs to? You're the occasional person who really wants it so bad they don't have money.
One tried to attack, but I just managed to notice his strange behaviour before, and I was in the front seat.
So did you run away then, basically? Did you run off?
I ran and I attacked him before he attacked me. But he almost got me, and he had like one of the razors.
But as you say, it was self-defense.
Self-defense.
Nothing happened.
But and he could have literally got my
some
neck.
serious damage.
Yeah, he could have got my neck.
And you hear of other dealers who have died, unfortunately.
I've heard it all. I've just been fortunate. But the different classes of drugs you sell with different customers, I could say. You mean.
Then when it came to violent offences, why? I mean, you're supposed to be a dealer, you're supposed to be a businessman, not a brawler. I mean, why are you getting into violent offences?
Like, it doesn't mean to be violent. Well, I wouldn't say I'm the violent type. I like to just go about my business, make my money and go. But obviously people try to test you. So
you're not a pushover, basically.
Yeah. Everyone tries to test you.
But that got you into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Violence. And as you know, if ever you were convicted of a violent offence, there's issues in relation to dangerousness, it was game over. I mean, serious sentences come about.
Like 10 years and above.
Yeah. So, I mean, literally, you've been acquitted of cases which involved serious violent offences, but thankfully that's in the past again. Moving on then, I mean, you mentioned firearms and explosives. Why?
That was
from dealer to brawler now to potential would-be assassin. I mean, what's all that about?
That was always for protection or like little schemes I had. So literally just for protection or schemes I had to get other dealers, etc.
I remember certainly as far as the violent offences were concerned, firearms and explosives going through the sentencing guidelines with you, because clearly when I'm preparing cases, I'm not only going to deal with case preparation, I've got to tell you what if you plead guilty or are found guilty.
I remember.
And I remember certainly some of these offences involved extended sentences, issues in relation to dangerousness, potential life sentences as well. And I remember the colour actually drained out of your face, thinking, oh my God, no. I mean, thankfully that part of your life's gone. And you're young still, I mean, you've got a lot going for you, and I'll come back to that now, but if in the unfortunate position of getting a life sentence or certainly a 10 plus, how would you deal with that?
It's crazy, because how do you deal with it? I remember like that mad case that we had, that you helped me with, I was looking at like 10 years.
That was the explosives?
Yeah. I've never stressed so much in my life.
No, because that was a serious case with potentially terrorism branch were going to be involved in it.
Yeah, that one kind of broke me.
And just again, that case is now gone, dust, finished. You've been sentenced for it, so it matters not. But in a nutshell, you're found with grenades. Found with grenades. I mean, it's a serious offence, possession of explosives. But thankfully, we managed to speak to the Crown. And if you remember, you were dealing drugs at the time, and a user had actually broken into somebody's house or car, and they'd actually given it to you. And oblivious to you, you'd kind of thrown them in the shed or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, and then when the police came to raid for drugs, they found?
Yeah, grenades.
Grenades, and I remember that call from the police station. I'm thinking, oh, here we go again, possession with intent to supply. And then they said, firearms, explosives, and I remember kind of falling out of bed thinking, wait, have you got the right person? Can this be right? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, going to the police station and my colleagues went and, getting the case papers and coming to court. It takes a toll, doesn't it? Even when you're a defence solicitor, think to yourself, look, hope it's in the end of you and now you've come back and it's not nice,
Yeah, it was daunting because as well, like I tried to like run around the prison to see if anyone's ever had that case, like what you're looking at, because that was like a thing people used to do.
See, that's another thing, coming back to it. You're in custody now and you've got your lawyer, me. But a lot of people in custody tend to take advice from people in custody, the armchair lawyers, isn't it? It's the armchair lawyers. Like, I'm your brief, I know what I'm talking about. And you'd rather speak to somebody in custody who's either serving a sentence, or clearly his case is messed up, or learned something from the library, isn't it? They picked up Archibald's and, subsection 125, and that's not the case, is it? Far from it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's the moral? Listen to your lawyer, isn't it?
Yeah. Even there was some doubts because like you're hearing it from prisoners and other people, like, but obviously going with you guys, man, I've always looked after me.
No, but again, it's not just about you, isn't it? You got to establish a rapport, isn't it?
Yeah, because relationship, for years.
It's been a long time. Family, friends, similar circles. Been around, seen you on the road, football, whatever, crossing paths in the gym. It's one of those kind of situations, isn't it?
But I was gonna say you still get referred to this day.
Yeah, the firm, it's me, but it's the firm, and we've got a good network of people. But again, look, just coming back to it, so clearly, just coming back on the prison aspect, touch wood, God willing, God forbid, you never go to prison ever again.
Never.
Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
What were your experiences, apart from wasting a whole bunch of time going to custody, going to prison, doing nothing, being banged up? Why not?
Experiences in what sense?
Why wouldn't you go to, is it because it's a deterrent?
Why did I?
Why would you not go to prison again?
Oh, no, because it doesn't make sense. It's a waste of time, resources, family. I don't get it no more.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example. We're just an example.
Okay.
You get that phone call. I'm not saying you're in these circles no more.
Yeah, hypothetically, of course.
XYZ, I got 50 keys. Drop this off for me. Come on, there's 20 bags in it for you. Just drop it off. Would you do it?
Nah. People call me now, well, not now, but they've learned that I don't do it no more. But people used to call me, I didn't do it.
It's a substantial amount of money. If you make that one hit, why wouldn't you do it?
It's not worth it no more.
Not worth it no more.
Yeah.
So crime doesn't pay, does it?
No, it don't.
And why doesn't it pay? Because you're in custody. Explain. You're in custody. Mum can't get to me. Dad can't get to me. Brothers and sisters don't know.
You're in jail for a considerable amount of time, 2, 5, 6, 8, and the years you've lost, like friends you might have lost, aunties, time wasted that you could have been doing something different, this just don't make sense. I wish I knew a little bit younger, but obviously I dwelled in different things, but it just don't. It generally don't. And I'm not, and people used to say that when I was younger, but I used to just whatever. Just old, but now as I'm older, I get it.
So I've got to ask, did prison become useful then? Did you any of the courses they talk about? The training and development?
I've done like 1 or 2 things. I think the only thing that I used was like food and hygiene. I think or health and safety.
Yes, you did something in food, didn't you, when you came out?
Yeah, with my food business. But apart from that, the courses, it didn't really help.
For you or for everybody?
I think 1 or 2 people used it to do other stuff, but me, no, not for me. Not for what my specific role was, what I wanted to do when I got out.
So it's not for everybody, for others, yes. Yeah. The reason why I say that is because I'm surprised you said that as well, but then again, partially they did help because they helped with the food and hygiene business.
Yeah.
But the others who have done bricklaying and computing and programming and weaving and that kind of stuff, I know people who were heavily involved in the criminal fraternity and have come out and set up weaving businesses and construction, railways.
Oh, that's crazy.
They do it. So to an extent, would you say prison, if you're willing to do the courses, you can set yourself up for life? Is that right, or am I talking nonsense?
Yeah, but you have to follow it through.
You got to follow it through, isn't
That's
it?
It's
that attention thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's harder said than done when you come back and you're used to what you're used to. But if you can change that, definitely.
Okay.
You can use it to your advantage.
Then coming to prisons then, before we move on. There's this myth, and a lot of people think if you get nicked in Tottenham, you're going to go to Pentonville. or for example, if you get
Is it a myth?
if you get sentenced in, like for example, Harrow, you're going to go to Shrubs. What happened to you? I mean, there was an occasion where you got sent to Hull. What happened? How was that? I mean, initially you're in a local prison. We know everybody there. Now you've gone to Hull, 500 miles away. How was that prison?
Kind of shit.
It was shit on her shit.
Oh,
Because the amount of phone calls you called,
like,
and the amount of times you
shit.
phoned me to get me out of here.
Like, it was shit.
But
Like,
why?
No one that I knew was there. It was
Yes.
just different environment, different people, and like obviously being up so far north, I'm the only one like black person. Like not many black people.
Now you get it.
Yeah, now it's just different. The only thing I could say was crazy that was better was the food. Apart from that, it was rubbish.
Was it still 23 hour Bangor?
Yeah. Still,
Did you understand that northern accent?
it was different. Yeah, but yeah, it was just everyone in there from Liverpool. Just all different types.
Were you attacked there because of your colour?
I wasn't, I wasn't. No, everyone just wanted to know too much.
About London?
Yeah.
How's London?
It's just very annoying. Like
Yeah.
everyone wants to know. Like who.
I remember once you called me. I remember you called me out of the blue, and you were at Hull. It was a Saturday. It was. I was coming at the gym. Yeah, I go to the gym as well. I go to the gym as well. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know if you remember this. He said, "Zem, yeah, I'm with your people, yeah, this northern people. Get me back to London." Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I don't even remember what they're talking. You said, "I don't even know what they're talking about. I find it difficult to understand it."
But I just wanted to come home. I remember talking to you on the phone.
Do you remember
But
that?
you made it happen though.
Yeah, because remember, I knew a gov there, or I knew somebody there who knew somebody who got you a prison lawyer to bring you back. Do you remember?
Yeah, that was the best trip coming back down. You wouldn't think it being in prison.
Even the little van coming all the way back.
Yeah, loved it.
But you know, you're coming back to it, I mean, you're in that prison. You can be. The point I was trying to make on a serious note was just because you get sentenced in London, don't mean you're going to stay there. You can be dispersed anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. I've been Brighton, I've been Hull, I've been Birmingham.
Don't say nothing about Birmingham, yeah?
Your side of the woods. Yeah, I've just been touring.
All right. Okay. So moving on from there, then, moving forward, what made you stop?
What made me swap?
Stop.
Yeah, enough was enough. The last sentence I said, yeah, I'm done, man.
No, but how? Why? Money's good.
Why? When
The
I
gal's
think
good.
about it,
The clubs are good.
it's
The
just
clothes
doesn't
are
make
good.
sense no more, innit? I've wasted like 6.5 years of my life in jail, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm done. Like, try something else, innit?
But how?
How?
I mean, the money's good. The people are good.
Couldn't
You're
tell you, it's
respected,
just
man.
like everything just tumbled on me, like to say, done. Everything.
A call from God. A call from God.
You can say
Family.
that.
Partner.
Just everything. I just had enough of everything. Just what I'm saying, everything in total. Everything. Like.
I mean, the reason why I salute you is because you still live in the same area.
Yeah.
Still know the same people around you.
Yeah.
But that's it. Line done. Do not call me. I mean, explain. How do you kind of turn the other cheek? How do you do it?
People,
I can do it. I live in the same area.
People can't call me and try to like meet me or link up.
Put it on you or do this for me.
No, it's not that. So more time, I just, with the intimate people that were there for me when I was going through all that prison, like I know a lot of people, gang members, this, that, but like the real people are the ones I talk to every day and help me through certain scenarios and kept looking after me and just told me, keep your head straight, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you why you're here. I called you a couple of days ago. No, you called me actually. You needed something signed, not a problem. And I asked you, what's the man name saying? If you remember.
Yeah.
What was your response?
Forget about the man there. I don't
Your
know.
response was, forget the man name. I'm not interested in the man name, bro. That's my past. If I see him, I say hello and that's it.
Yeah.
And I was taken back, if you remember. I said, you know what, brother, I need you to come in. I want you to explain to these people that, you know, a life of crime, don't pay. That's right, isn't it?
But I feel like, it doesn't. But I feel like people, if they're young, they won't listen. It's crazy to say.
No, but they need you.
But this is the thing. I was young at them ages, hearing people like me, and I didn't take it in until man.
No, but if you remember when you were young, there was no social media.
It wasn't that big. Okay, so from people saying it, furthermore, not watching it, but people saying it. So hopefully this can get into one or two boys' ears and say
If
like,
one person, boy, girl, you know, refrains from getting into gang activity, selling drugs, doing something stupid.
yeah, no.
I mean, even with selling drugs, I mean, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, sometimes people get high on their own supply. How many dealers do you now know that are old dealers who are drug dependent?
I've got a
Literally,
couple. I know a
excuse the
couple.
phrase, crackhead on road.
I know a couple. They've gone. They've lost their heads.
Finished, isn't it?
Even some people in mental institutions, they've gone. Yeah, it's
Sure.
crazy.
So even though you're making money, you're cutting up your own stuff, and the next thing you know, you're high on
abusing
it.
it. Yeah,
You're abusing it, isn't it? Because it gets into your system through your fingers and nose, and that's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got to ask. It's a big question. It's a
Yeah.
live question. Only you can answer. Do drug dealers really make that amount of money?
I don't think so, no. Because I make some people I know are still drug dealing. And I know I make more than them. And I know a friend, he's got business and he makes more than me and definitely them. Like,
Okay, so a drug dealer, like standard drug dealer you see on TV, Top Boy kind of thing. Then you've got, Instagram and that Snapchat thing and all sorts, yeah? The Lambos and the Louis Vuittons and the Louboutins. What's all that about?
it don't last. Some of it's fake. A lot of it's fake. It don't last. It don't make sense. And realistically, it's crazy because if you drug deal, you actually use it for like all clothing and that, so you don't really have money. Don't get me wrong, I had money, but like people around me didn't have money because it was going. So in hindsight, you're just drug dealing to support a life of an addiction, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you don't actually have nothing. Like,
No, fair enough. Okay, so in short, you're saying no.
no, you're not.
Short time span, sell by date. The next thing you know, it's all gone.
Gone. Because look, I was drug dealing. I ain't got all that money no more.
And I get it, you don't. And again, we'll come back to it. But do you know any dealer that has now legitimized using the money he made from dealing and therefore is now successful and can walk with his head held high?
Honestly, no. Honestly, use their drug money to do that? No. No one, not one. And I know a lot of people, even meeting in prison. No one.
So coming back to drug dealing, we've already established, dealers don't make the amount of money they actually make out to make. But there's different kind of dealing, isn't there? You've got home loan dealers where you're dealing on road, the normal street dealer, and then those who've got a little bit of a business flair and want to go up country and have county lines and expand their business interests.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Have you ever been involved in county lines?
Yeah, I had one, funny enough. I won't even say the area, because it doesn't matter. But yeah, I had one. It's a whole different audience. It's like more like fiends, more money, but it's like harder to manage in a sense because you always have to get somebody from like London or whoever to...
And you got arrested in that as well.
I got arrested in there as well.
Okay, so now you've got to this new area. You're in this new area, okay? How do you pick the area? I mean, England's very big. Where on the map do you say, okay, I'm going to go to, say, for example, Chelmsford? How would you pick an area?
Funny enough, the only reason why I went to that specific area because my friend went uni there. Like, obviously, I tried to go to ones where I didn't hear stories about, like, there, the man from there. So I just went there and I tried it.
Okay. And then, so now we're there. Okay, so now me, Mr. X are there. We're walking down the high road. And we've got a commodity. How do we sell a commodity then? How do you sell that commodity? Maybe you don't know anybody there. How do you find the punter? The nicky?
Obviously, you know how it goes. Just testers, testing the area, see how much.
So who do you approach? Some random person or what do you do?
See people, a couple random, but you can tell a fiend when you see one. So
okay, so you can see a user when you see one. And then is it what? Number giving or a free sample?
Free sample and take my number and goes global from there. Because
kind of one
word of mouth, word of mouth. It's different in country because it's more word of mouth. So.
But then again, the sentences are bigger as well.
Yeah. And even now they've even gone up.
They've gone to super duper levels there. Especially if there's young people involved.
Now it's not like how it was in my day. Now it's like the police will get you.
And even then, the police got us, didn't they?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No one lost especially in OT out of town. No one lost.
And what a lot of people don't know is, and thankfully you were never involved in, is if you've got younger people running your line through, then that's modern day slavery. That's big sentences, man. You're going to prison for a very long time if you're using young people to sell your commodity.
Yeah, it's crazy because of my friend that I met in prison, good friend, he got 15 years.
Oh my God.
And he still got another 6-7 years to go, and I'm here enjoying life, and He just said it there. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
It's horrible life.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, again, like you said, like watching over your back. You don't know if your opposition party is going to come or if it's the police. You don't know. You don't even know if a punter's going to rob you. It's one of those situations, isn't it?
Literally.
And that's with the drugs. Do you know what I mean?
That's with the drugs.
Yeah. How did your family take it?
Which part?
Mum,
What,
dad,
the drug bit?
No, but getting arrested. Like, you go to prison, like, you know?
Headache. Obviously, I've just made my mum cry countless amount of times.
I remember she called once and she wanted to say, look, you know, where's my son? Is he okay? Is he going to be okay? Does he get something as big as, is he going to get food? Will he be okay? Does he have a change of clothes? And like, I'm sure, you know, you've got a heart, you know, you really feel. And that's not a position you want to put your mum in, do you?
Nah, it's crazy because like now it's just proud joy, but before, yeah, it was just a lot of tears.
Now I'm going to tell you something, and I remember your mum called in once, and the police, when they call, especially when you're young, it's a call on a withheld number, isn't it? I remember your mum saying it's, when you get that withheld number, you don't know whether or not he's been killed, he's harmed somebody, is he in hospital? You know, that kind of feeling of the unknown. And I remember your mum telling me, I never ever want to be in that position again. And later on, you came to, you know, you understand it now. I mean, I'm sure you're going to have kids at some stage, you're going to get married, you know. And would you want your kids to be in a similar predicament to you?
No,
you're bringing?
Definitely not. Hopefully.
Why not?
Because it just don't make sense. It's just more grief than it's worth. Like, there's nothing comes out of it.
Okay, I know you had good parents, and I know you had a good family because I've spoken to your family.
Yeah.
Okay, and hopefully you'll be a fantastic father.
Thank you.
But say, for example, your child, boy, girl, wants to be on the wrong side of the law. How are you going to deal with it? Because clearly mum tried to do everything she could to prevent you. What are you going to do?
Good question. I'm just probably going to instill, like, I've been in there and it doesn't make sense, or try getting him off a path of business or like a tradesman skill where his focus is more on that and just shadow him, his movement or her movement. Or her movements, because like everything's changing nowadays, and just try show them like you don't get nothing out of it apart from headache and just despair. Like,
Can I say that comment as well, please, if you don't mind?
go on.
You're probably going to hate me for it. But it's something you said to me a very long time ago. And you said, if I had the opportunity to go back to year 9, I will sit in front of that English class and knock anybody out who spoke. I want everybody to learn. How do you feel about that comment?
I don't like it.
But is it true? Do you remember that? You said that to me in custody at the time. Isn't it a correct thing to say to
I must have been young, I must have been little, man.
But would you sit at the front of the class now and make sure you learned everything that was there?
Yeah, I'll learn now, definitely. Definitely.
All right. So moving on then, wrapping it up here. Moving on then, we'll take the part out. Moving on. And I've got to ask you this, and it's an important question I'm going to ask you. Coming back to it then, if you could tell your year 9 self in today's day to be on the straight and narrow and to go forward, what would you tell these people?
I'll say look into a profession like tradesmanship, or look to something that I love and start a business with it, and just use that as a tool to keep going and like get customers from like walking around and just build an empire, because that's where I messed up when I was young. I wish I did.
But you're on it now.
I'm on it now.
And on a final note, and something I actually struggled with, this is me growing up.
Interesting.
How do you tell your friends no when you're year 9? No, because when you're 9, year 10, your friends mean everything to you, isn't it? You live in a parallel universe. There's
crazy.
Family, conventional life, then there's loyalty to your mates. How do you tell them to get lost?
How do you tell them to get lost? How do you tell them to get
I
lost?
can tell you how I did it. My dad chased him down the road with a stick to the with my son. How are you going to do it?
That's crazy, because friends mean a lot at them ages. Just gotta tell them, no, I'm just not with it. I'm just not with it. And when they're doing naughty or doing their fuckeries, you just go about your business and go home.
So in short, turn the other way.
Yeah.
Move on.
And move on.
Don't get involved.
But it's harder at them ages, to be honest.
We've been there, man.
There's a lot of means of making money. A lot of easy ways, like now YouTube. That's an easy one for someone to do. Podcasts. Like
Amazon buying, selling.
Amazon, digital, driving jobs. There's a lot of things now. So like,
Yeah, but you have to be of a certain age to do that.
there's driving,
Yeah, these little kids, aged 14, 15,
14,
16,
15.
under the age, are on this flex of making money. Whether you like it or not, these people want to make money. What do you say to them?
Do you like postal jobs? Like you can mail stuff or like make something, create something.
They want serious money, my friend.
No, they want serious money, but they'll make serious money if they're patient. You can make something and give out flyers.
So your time will
food.
come.
Your time will come. That's what the best.
So you're saying to young people, your time will come.
Enjoy your youth.
Enjoy your youth.
Enjoy your youth. Don't even think about all that, because if you're separate out of everyone else, it will show when you're like 21. So trust me, just enjoy your youth. Money, that's what everyone wants you to think, like drip, this, that.
When I was growing up, like, you know, I really looked up to that guy who had the Nike Air Maxes and like the Adidas tops and that. I mean, we couldn't afford that kind of stuff, you know. More our parents buy us, waste money on that kind of things.
Yeah.
But a lot of you know, growing up in school, people want top gear, don't you? It's about how you dress now, isn't it? And that gold chain and that, you know, kettle you got. You know what I mean? That earring. What do you say to these people? Do you need it?
You don't need it. You don't need it. You need houses. You need stability. You need money, don't get me wrong, but there's certain means to make that, like the drip, the chains, the cars. It will come in time. You don't need it when you're young anyways, like that. Because realistically, having those type of things are for adults. But we're so glamorized now, younger people think they're entitled to have it. But when I was their ages, that wasn't on my mind. So it shouldn't be on theirs, because realistically, even like going to fancy restaurants and that, like Nobu and that, it's not for people that are 18, 16. It's like for people who are like 30 plus, and I'm not even 30.
Sorry, I go to Novikov and Sexy Fish.
Like,
I don't know what Nobu is.
Like Nobu, even Sexy Fish as well. Like it's the same thing.
What about, say, if Mum said she come home at 4:35 and you come at home at 7? Don't you think that kind of boundary helps at home?
I've done all of that, but yeah, it does. But when you're a kid, like it's not. I've learned it's not really boundaries, it's more conversation or speeches. Let the person understand why you need them there at certain times, instead of just saying, come home at...
Yeah, but our parents are old school, isn't it? You're not home at 4:35.
True. They're old school, so...
I remember saying to my dad, it was a school trip it was. They were going to America. And I said to my dad, Dad, can I go to America? He said, yes, make sure you're back by 4:30.
No way.
He said, whatever you do, you be home by 4:30.
That's so funny.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, when it came to us, I mean, my father's has passed away about 18 years ago. I'm still scared of him.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? That was his power. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, you know, parents meant everything, you know,
100%.
making sure you don't bring disrespect home, making sure you go the straight way.
That's the main thing, family, isn't it? Because that's all you have.
So there it was. You spoke to Mr. X and it was a wonderful meeting. But just on a final note, I've got to say, a lot of people talk about criminals. You represent criminals. Yes, this young man did get into trouble. Yes, this man did plead guilty, alternatively was found guilty, and therefore, for all intents and purposes, could be called a criminal, but has done his best to turn his life around, moved on. That life of crime has long passed. If anything, he's trying to get his life back together again, and he's tried to explain why people get into trouble. People are less fortunate, others are in the wrong environment, some are just rotten apples. But the long and short of it is everybody deserves a second chance. And as far as I'm concerned, Mr. X should get that second chance. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and share.